Yay, cool. So, hi, I'm Charlie. This is Daniel. Hi, Daniel.
What's up, Charlie?
So Daniel went through the Facebook Ads MBA program, and I just really wanted to know how things are going with you right now. And, I think it'd be great to let people know sort of like what things were like before, what your experience was with things, and how things are going now. And really just kind of let you tell your story and let your experience kind of, we had many, many hours of protracted conversations, and things seem to be really exciting. And I'd love for other people to get to kind of know where you're at with things now.
For sure. I guess where I started was I've taken many courses for Facebook ads, and pretty much everyone teaches the same thing, just wrapped up in a different package. And I've been doing that since 2018. But recently I found Charlie on TikTok, I guess, took his first course, and then ended up doing his MBA program as well. And it came at just the right time, because during the MBA course, or right before the MBA course, is when iOS 14 hit, right? And during that time is also when Facebook reporting just started to be completely off. And if I had been running ads the way I had been, which was multiple campaigns, tons of different ad sets, lots of duplications.
Oh yeah.
Going in every single day. I was day trading. And I mean, I was making money off of it too, but there's no way that I could run ads with that framework now, with all the wrong reporting,
Sure.
It'd be impossible, literally impossible.
Oh yeah. I didn't realize you found me on TikTok. That's cool.
Yeah, I found you on TikTok.
You're the third person that found me on TikTok. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I found you on TikTok. So I would be spending a lot of my time in my ads account, as you can imagine, because I'm day trading. Different times of the day, I'm turning things off, turning things on. Rules couldn't really do what I needed. How I would run my ads, rules couldn't do it. But now that I've simplified my ad account, I'm really in my ad account maybe an hour a day or so. So it's giving me a lot more free time where I can take that and invest it back into the brand, do some good brand building, working a lot with my emails now, just different campaigns and different themes for the store too. So it's really freed up my day where I can do a lot more brainstorming compared to just thinking about the numbers all the time.
Yeah. You're not day trading anymore. I think I remember it was 4 or 5 weeks in, you were like, I have so much time. I started an email course to run alongside what we're doing.
Yeah.
That's pretty incredible.
For sure.
Yeah. So you're no longer day trading stuff. So what does stuff look like for you now? Like versus where you were at before?
I mean, versus where I was at, a huge part of what I learned in the course was how Facebook really works, right? Not so much the fluff and the misconceptions of Facebook, because there's a lot of them.
Sure.
Right? Many misconceptions. And it's given me such a stronger sense of knowing how Facebook really works that it's allowed me to come up with my own frameworks and ideas. And that's something that I would never have been able to do had I not taken this course and talked to you specifically for hours. Because I mean, you have ebooks and you have other courses too, but it's the talking to you that really helped me understand how things really work. And once you grasp that understanding, then you're able to just figure out things for yourself, and you're able to say, you know what, I would like to achieve this objective. Let me run things this way.
No, you're totally right. And I loved it. Like, you took my creative testing framework that we go over and turned it into like product testing for brand development, so you can vertically integrate things, plus took it to an nth degree that I had never tested, that ultimately, like, for what it's worth, I've been doing that since. And I feel like you've contributed to the brilliance of like Facebook by just having an understanding and coming at it from a different way. And I think that was amazing.
You've been doing that too?
I have been. I have legitimately been saying like, yeah, Daniel from the MBA program challenged what I was doing and he took it to the nth degree. And the hit rate for me is about 75, 80%.
That's good. We were thinking it was going to be like 60%, but
Yeah.
okay. Well, we can discuss more of that later because I got more ideas too. But
okay. We can do that off camera. Yeah, no, I got you. Yeah. No, I love it because like the idea here is if we're only building on known fundamentals, things that have not changed in years about just how a simple algorithm or how the algorithm works in a simple way, and build on that core principle decisions for our business, then all it does is how do we take one discipline and apply it to a problem solving? And basically what you did is took one discipline to one problem solving that, I mean, I've told everybody, like you can apply this to everything. Yeah. And then you applied it to several other things and then magnified that application. We're like, well, we could also do this over here. And just in a way that I had never done because I didn't never need to, but you were like, well, let's try it. What's wrong with that? Let's give it a shot. And because it's now like core things built on fundamental known truths that aren't going to change anytime, it has provided an opportunity to move things forward even more, which I think is great because I'll be the first to say, like, I don't know everything. Sure. I do know the core pieces and I know the disciplines and I know why things work and I can know how to explain them. But I think it's awesome that you then have the freedom to take that knowledge and like what you find in graduate and postgraduate collegiate work is like you contribute to the knowledge. Like you're no longer just learning, but you're also able to add to the world and do things in a way that isn't a hack, right? Like there's nothing hacky about it. There's no like short-term benefit. It's not like, well, that's going to work this 6 weeks and then it's done. Like, no, this is basically how things can work until they change the system fundamentally, which has happened twice since I started a decade ago. So I feel like it's going to be good for a while. And that's awesome.
Yeah. No, man. I mean, had I not learned how Facebook works and developed the understanding about it, because one thing I realized is that you can tell me something, right, Charlie? Like you can say something and many times I hear what you say the first time, but it doesn't really click or it doesn't make sense because I've been taught so many other things in the past. So a lot of the time spent with you was me really questioning why you said certain things or why do things work this way, because I just really wanted to grasp that understanding. And I feel that if you don't have that, you're not going to be able to really come up with new ideas on how to use Facebook the right way. You're going to just be shooting in the dark, doing things by chance. You're going to be gambling if you understand it the right way.
Yeah. And I love that too. A lot of our calls where you were like, all right, I've got a list of 12 questions. Like, why did you do this? Why aren't you doing this? What is the thing? And it was great. It was like, I was a defendant on trial and it was great. Like, I loved it. Like, that's what you should be doing. That's how you learn, right? The application of this knowledge.
For sure.
Because you have invested in so many other places with so many other people that recycle the same bad information over and over again, that a lot of it was relearning stuff. Or it was like, well, everybody says this and it's kind of true, but not for the reason that they said it was. And here's how I actually apply that knowledge.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is so awesome because I see so many people, especially when I talk to folks, they're like, well, this is what the gurus are saying this week, or this is what's happening this month or whatever. And it's like, none of that matters. Like the reason things work or don't work is because of how it applies to a simple set of very core principles.
Yeah.
And once you understand those, then you can start to actually plan around them. And the confidence level that I saw in you and a lot of the other folks that we went through is just like, you weren't sitting in there like, I'm going to drop $500 today and see what happens. It was like, all right, I'm going to do this thing because I think in 2 weeks it's going to net this thing. And in a month, I'm going to know what direction to go. Like the idea that you could spend money today to set up a decision in 45 days is something that I feel like you might not have trusted me or had faith when I told you that at the beginning. That is something that you can do. And now it sounds like that's just how you run everything.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, but you're also conducting your own tests and developing everything that you can. So you're not copy and pasting what I'm telling you. You're taking a lot of the insight and then just developing everything so that it fits for you.
Yeah. Everything that I do, well, so the way I'm running things right now is slightly different than what was taught, but it's all built on the principles that you taught. So it's everything that you've taught, just tweaked a little bit to fit.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's because I can tell you the right way of doing things, but that's the right way for 80% of the people, 80% of the time. That doesn't take your business into account. Like your business, you make ads a certain way. You talk to customers a certain way. You've got a certain email flow. You've got a certain business model. You've got a certain site design. You've got a certain way of thinking. Like you have to take the knowns and then mold it to fit the way that you think so that you can run a business that makes sense to you so that it is way less confusing, way less stressful. And you go from $500 a day to 2,000, you know, with confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I love that. I'm super excited to see like what else you come in. And I definitely want to talk with you offline about some of the other ideas because I got a couple too. Okay. But you know, it'd be fun to chat, you know, and one of the things that I love about this too is, you know, when you and your buddy joined, you were basically two people that kind of met each other in the wilderness and were unwilling to share things with other people, but you found each other so you can kind of talk.
Yeah.
And now there's this like small little group where it's like, you can have this in-depth discussion about a super high level concept around how this, you know, $1 trillion algorithm works with somebody else that totally understands why you're saying that, where you're coming from, because they're also applying that knowledge in a completely different way that also works for them that might be very different than what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And that I mean, I find a lot of value out of like the idea of being able to talk to other people about what the hell is going on. Because there's such a facet of loneliness that goes into this business, you know, of this lack of confidence and the inability to communicate with other people because everybody seems to be completely lost and protective about what they're doing. But now you're in a group that doesn't necessarily have that situation. Like we're not totally lost. We kind of have an idea what we're doing and we can share ideas with each other to improve everybody, which I think is great. So I guess, you know, a question that I would have is on a selfish note is like, you know, there are people that may or may not be interested in doing this thing. And you were obviously somebody that was super suspicious, right? Which I get. Because you've done courses, right? And you are a very, while you take risks, you are a very informed person when you do it. Like you are not a high risk type taker, right? Like you are somebody that knows what they're getting into, evaluates the decision, very methodical, very motivated, and like you do your research.
For sure.
So with all that being said, I'm kind of curious. I mean, I feel like I've got a good idea, but I'd love to know, like, what gave you the motivation and the confidence to want to jump into this after being in a lot of other situations, which may or may not have delivered you a place where you wanted to be?
It was because I could tell, because before I jumped into the program, I already talked to you on the phone for like maybe like 3 hours, you know, and I could tell your level of competency just by the things that you're saying, because you can smell if someone knows what they're talking about or not after talking to someone for 3 hours. And then I did a background check on you, and everything also matched what you said.
Fair enough.
Because, I mean, because you would say some stuff, and then I was like, okay, well, that, you know, he said some pretty big things right there. Let me see if they match. And everything you said matched. And then I thought about it and I was like, it's not like I haven't spent that money on other people before, right? And if I'm in a place that I need to grow, then, you know, I got to spend the money to get that information. So I did it, and I was like, you know what, this is going to be a very small investment for something that could be for millions, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's a drop in the bucket to the potential upside.
Exactly. And I'm glad I did it. Very glad I did it. It's changed the way that I run business for sure. And I think that anyone that's looking at this program, you know, really, really consider it. I would definitely highly recommend it. And especially if you're someone that has a budget, because the way that you teach, the way that Facebook actually works is you don't really just put a $5 budget down, right?
Right. Yeah. You need, and not to blow completely things, but like, we'll say on a healthy basis, you are above the, you're spending some money. You're spending some cash.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, we don't need to give away your business, but like, you're investing some dollars on a daily basis.
For sure. So if you're that kind of person that's investing some dollars and you're ready to learn about how Facebook actually works, and you would like to have a framework that you can build upon yourself, then I think you'd be foolish not to take this opportunity.
Right on, man. Well, I don't know that I can get a better endorsement than that. And I feel like George Costanza, like, I feel like I should just say, I'm out. Like, that's great. Like, you know, but hey, man, I definitely will chat with you offline. I also have an extra something for you and for some other folks, but I really appreciate it. You didn't have to come on and do anything, and I'm not, you know, I am very appreciative, and I know that this was just extra time of your day. So thank you very much. And yeah, man, I'm super excited to talk to you about some more stuff, because we're always learning, right? And I'll be the first person to say that while I've spent hundreds of millions of dollars for nearly a decade, a lot of that success came from learning from anybody that asked a question and engaging with everybody that I possibly could. And some of the brightest ideas I've had are from people that didn't know what they were doing, because nobody ever taught them the wrong thing. And like, that being said, being open to being uncomfortable and getting better is what makes us all succeed, I think. And with that in mind, man, I'm super excited to hear about some other stuff. And I guess I'll talk to you in a bit.
Sounds good, man. Yeah, but that being said too, I mean, when I presented those ideas to you, you know, I mean, I talked with Ian about them first, and he was like, man, I don't know how Charlie's gonna take this. If you mention things that might be like better than what he's teaching us, he may not like accept these things. But dude, like, you heard them with a completely open mind, and unlike what a lot of people on Twitter may think about you, you're a very open person, and you're always down to hear new ideas. You're not afraid of like being wrong or being challenged. And if something sounds good to you, that you're all about it.
Yeah. I mean, hey, look, you had a good idea. I challenged you on it. You defended it well. I've thrown a couple tens of thousands of dollars behind some things, and I've learned some stuff. Nice. And like, hey, look, nobody's perfect at this stuff. We can all get better. Mm-hmm. And who would I be as somebody to try to improve people's lives and make things better and make things simpler if I wasn't open to also having somebody challenge what I have to say? Like, I'm not omnipotent. Like, I will gladly take a good idea and run with it. And I loved it, man. And it does mean a lot when you said that, like, and I remember you and Ian were both like, yeah, he was like supportive of the idea. Like, he wanted to know the rest of the thing. Like, he was going to run it. Like, I guess that to me, that just feels normal. Mm-hmm. But like, yeah, now that you say that, I know so many people that were like, well, that's not what I taught you. And then, it's like, who cares if it's what you taught me? If it's better, who gives a shit? Like, aren't we trying to here to make money? Aren't we here to like be successful? Who cares who idea it is? If it's built on found basis and like it can make everything better, why be afraid of that? Like, that's an amazing thing. And it'll probably end up going into the curriculum over the next 6 months if I can continue to prove it out, especially during the next 100 days. Because I also don't teach things unless I personally have spent tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars on it.
For sure.
Like, I need to go through every pain point that I can think of before I try to teach it to somebody else and be like, hey, I had a good idea last week. I'm not going to try to have somebody risk their business because I felt
so
smart.
whoever's seeing this, so that means on Charlie's next MBA course, which is going to be in about 100 days or so from now, you may be lucky enough to get the new sauce.
There you go. There you go. And
Yeah.
if you've taken it, you can always come back. That's the other thing is like, you know, we're back in session. We had a class today, you know, and there's chats inside the Facebook group and some other goodies that are coming. I've been expanding out the program too. So there's some new ebooks, there's some more videos, there's more juice, you know, so when you're in for life. So, well, anyway, man, I really appreciate it. Yeah, man, I miss having our very extended chats. For what it's worth, the one-on-one time is supposed to be 45 minutes when you get that level of the program. And I think we would regularly chat for about 90 minutes to 2 hours because like, why not? Like I scheduled that time. Like if we're getting progress done, let's continue to chat.
For sure.
So anyway, man, I appreciate it. It's always great to talk to another really great mind about these things. And I'm glad that I could be of help. And I'm going to hit you up offline with a couple other things. And then maybe we can chat on some stuff about some ideas you got. I think you're going to like what I'm going to send you. And I'm super excited to hear what you got to send me.
Oh, for sure, man. Yeah, you're going to be interested in this.
All right. All right. Well, I'll talk to you later, Daniel. I appreciate it.